Hi, and welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live, coming at you after a disappointing 6-4 loss and series defeat at the hands of the Kansas City Royals. Rangers put up a little bit of fight in this one, but it was all for naught as the Rangers bullpen gives up a couple late, and Texas loses 3 of 4 in Kansas City. Heading back home to Arlington Friday night. Tomorrow night, Nathan Eovaldi on the bump against the Guardians. We're going to preview that series for you. We'll talk, obviously, Evo start in particular, but we'll definitely get into the Saturday and Sunday matchups as well. Looks like Jacob deGrom probably scheduled for a Monday start. I think there was a little bit of a door left open for maybe sometime this weekend. Definitely not good. Not good. Like I said, I'm willing to let the weekend play out, willing to let this week play out, but you've lost 3 already this week. Your margin for error just so incredibly thin. Of course, you are a little bit boosted by what the teams are doing around you. You'd love to be taking advantage. Rangers in the middle of a losing streak from both the Mariners and the Astros, not able to do a whole lot. Today, by the way, around the league, Houston currently up on Baltimore 2-0 in Baltimore. That's in the top of the second inning, so a lot of ball left to be played there. Boston and New York are playing each other, so they're going to beat up on each other this weekend. That does play into the Rangers' hands a little bit. That's a tough one. I mean, you'd love to almost see a sweep in one direction or the other. I mean, we always kind of say when some of these teams end up playing each other that are ahead of you, you kind of want to see them go a little bit back and forth, but you almost at this point want to see one of the two teams get swept so you can just automatically gain ground on one of them. Other than that, not a whole lot of other action going on around the league today. Rays and the Cardinals are playing. Rays are kind of distantly behind the Rangers at this point. Royals, obviously, they are going on their weekend series. Let me see if I got this straight. I want to make sure. Royals, Tigers, that should be a pretty good series. Again, Astros and the Orioles will play this weekend. And then the Mariners, they are going to be playing the A's this weekend. So we shall see how it all unfolds. But right now, if you look at the standings, the Rangers in the wild card sit right now at 5.5 games back. Now, they were showing some pretty crazy numbers. I think it was on the broadcast the other night. They were showing some pretty crazy numbers for teams that have come back, and they did it since like August 20th. Like at the August 20th mark, what are the craziest comebacks? And teams that have gone on to win a division or still make the playoffs. Look, the 2011 Cardinals at August 20th, I believe, were like 8.5 games back. It is not totally unprecedented. There are some other wild ones as well. I'll see if I can look them up. Wild MLB comebacks. Let's see if we can figure it out. Along the way, we will definitely try and get you some of those numbers. We're going to be taking a lot of comments and questions as we go along. Biggest deficit. Let me just refine the Google search here. Biggest deficit MLB history to make playoffs. We'll just see what we can find. We'll take a lot of comments and questions. B. Daddy, I'm not there quite yet, brother, but I'm getting close. I'm getting very, very close, but I'm not quite there yet. Biggest comebacks, let's see. Greatest late season surges to reach the postseason. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let's see what we can find here, just for fun. These are like a little too recent. We gotta go back like a little further. Like it's like, September dates. We gotta see like August here. 2011 Rays, 2000. These aren't that crazy. Come on, give me something better. MLB.com. What are we doing right now? Come on. That article isn't my favorite. Biggest comebacks for a division title. I like this. 1978 Yankees were 14 games back. Yikes. 14 games out. That's July 19th. The 2012 A's. This is not a good story for us Rangers fans. The 2012 A's, they came back 13 games back to top us for the AL West. Yuck. Remember that game like it was yesterday? The 1995 Mariners were 3 games under 500 on August 2nd and went on to win the AL West. The 2006 Twins were 12 and a half games back at one point. The Twins still sat 10 and a half games back behind the AL Central leading Tigers on August 7th. There are some pretty wild comebacks in MLB history, man. There really are. I'm not saying that the Rangers are going to get it done, but I am saying I'm still holding out just the slightest bit of hope that this is going to work out positively. Yeah, umpire was not good for Curvelo. Umpire was really not good today. There were a lot of questionable calls. I am really looking forward to seeing the umpire audit tomorrow. If you guys don't follow that account, by the way, really great follow, especially when you're very upset about terrible calls made in big moments. We are absolutely going to have to check out umpire auditor tomorrow. It was a little ridiculous at times. I mean, you go to the game today, which we're going to go to here, and we're going to look at some of the individual pitches. I mean, Curvelo was robbed of multiple strikeouts that really would have made a huge difference. But look, the Rangers not able to score in the 6th, 7th, 8th, or 9th innings. I mean, you got to look at that at some point. You have the big 5th inning where you come all the way back. But look, the Royals, they tack on one in the bottom of the 5th. They tack on another in the bottom of the 7th. You've got to score runs after the 5th inning. You just have to. You have to score runs after the 5th inning. I definitely fault some of the umpiring today behind the dish. Absolutely, it wasn't great, but you cannot go zeros 6 through 9 and expect to have a lot of success. You've got to put up runs in the 6th through 9th inning, period. But I agree, the home plate umpire was not great. Got to play good baseball this weekend. That is the name of the game. You got to play some good baseball. Right now, it is not looking great for the Rangers. The Pasquatch Homer Fest, just really unfortunate. Like, after the 3rd day in a row of him hitting a home run against you, you would think that you would start being a little bit more careful to the guy. Clearly, the Rangers just felt like they had something on him that they decided to continue to pitch to him. Just not good. Pasquantino just went off in this series, one shy of the Royals record with 4th homer in a row, right? 4th straight game with the homer. I think 5 is the Royals record. They didn't get the memo. They did not get the memo. That bottom of the 7th inning was tough. Curvelo, man, just really got squeezed. The Jonathan India AB, I think, is the one that I go to. The Jonathan India AB, you had first pitch, strike, second pitch, foul, and then the 3rd pitch was just absolutely painted. It should have been 1, 2, 3 strikeout. Instead, India works a walk there. At that point, it's 5-4. You're still trying to keep the game right there at 1 run, and it just kind of went downhill from there. Jonathan India should have been rung up on strikes. You would have had Curvelo in at least a better opportunity to get out of the inning. That would not have been the 3rd out of the inning. It would have been the 2nd out of the inning, but you never know what happens from there. I mean, India for the Royals was the number 6 hitter. So then you're getting to Lofton, who had a decent day at the plate. Lofton flew out the very next AB after India walked. It was unfortunate in that bottom of the 7th for Curvelo, really was. And look, in the Isbell at bat, before the India at bat, this is all in the bottom of the 7th that we're talking about, by the way. Curvelo got squeezed again. You look at pitch number 2 in the Isbell at bat, called the ball, should have been a strike. There were a number of those calls late. Umpire auditor later today or tomorrow, we'll be able to see it. I don't expect it to be good news for the Rangers. Not expecting that. Good point. We did out-hit just by 1 run. Royals kicked the ball around today. Bobby Witt had an error. The Rangers actually did take advantage of that error in the 5th inning. Again, you don't score 6 through 9. It's just not going to go well. Having Marcus Semien out of the game, foot injury, I believe is what it was. X-rays came back negative. Not really sure what happened. Hopefully Semien is not going to be missing any more ball games. Look, as up and down as Marcus Semien has been, you do not want to see them. You don't want to see them have to miss games with Marcus Semien. Zeke Duran doing a great job of late. Average is up to 223 on the year. Crazy enough with how low it was at points earlier this season. But you want Marcus in the lineup. Great relay and throw, by the way, by Josh Smith, Marcus Semien, and then the tag applied by Cody Freeman. That was a big outstanding defensive play, but you come to expect it from the Rangers, one of the best defensive teams in 2025 this year. But Marcus only one AB. I do kind of wonder, had the Rangers been able to have Marcus for 4 ABs in this game, does it change the argument, though, against that? Duran coming in, getting a couple of hits. Maybe Duran should have been starting for somebody else at this point. I mean, Duran, look, we already did his numbers. Over his last 15 games, he's hitting .417 with a 900-plus OPS. Ezekiel Duran is coming alive late here. I think at this point, you kind of have to go with whoever is actually hitting for you. Might be time to think about getting Zeke Duran in the lineup a little bit more often. And he is getting his chances, that's for sure. We go through 1 through 9, and we'll continue to get comments as we go. Thoughts on Cody Freeman? Look, I know that the numbers don't look great. I mean, Cody's at a 120 average, 320 OPS. I know the numbers don't look great. But if you're really just not box score cherry picking and you're actually watching the Cody Freeman at bats, I actually feel encouraged. The contact is not great. You'd love to see some harder contact from Cody. But what I do like is he's putting the ball in play. He's putting the ball in play. That's something that the third baseman that has started many games for us this season has not been able to do frequently. Hasn't been able to do consistently. Josh Young, by the way, got into this ball game, and I believe he went 0 for 1 with the strikeout. Josh Young is not in a great place right now. I would love to see Cody Freeman just get a lot of ABs down this stretch, especially if the Rangers are trending out of the playoff race. You let Cody Freeman play every day. If you ever do reach that breaking point, I don't think the Rangers are there quite yet. I think that they are getting close, but I don't think they're there quite yet. I'd like to see Cody Freeman play more often. I like the fact that he puts the ball in play. He did strike out today. He doesn't strike out often. This guy is a very good defender. I think he is going to be, he might already be a better defender than Josh Young. And I know that might be a hot take for some of you, but I really think Cody Freeman is an outstanding defender at the hot corner. Look, played right field as well today. I absolutely feel confident in Cody Freeman's ability to give you just as good, if not a little bit better defense than Josh Young. I say a little bit better because bro is quick. He is agile. Josh Young, love the guy. I wouldn't exactly call Josh Young quick or agile. Josh Young is a good defender. He's a great defender, a plus defender down there at third base, but I don't think you're losing a lot going to Cody Freeman. I'd like to see Cody continue to get ABs. I know the average doesn't look good. If you're taking those numbers in a vacuum, yeah, you're not going to be a big fan of Cody Freeman getting more ABs. If you're actually watching, I think you're watching a guy that knows the strike zone. You're watching a guy that puts the ball in play, that has a good two-strike approach. His hit today was with 2 strikes. Mike Lorenzen got him down quickly 0-2, and Cody was able to get a base knock off of him. You're not seeing a lot of Rangers getting hits with 2 strikes. You're seeing a lot of strikeouts. You're seeing a lot of guys fold when they get into those 2 strikeouts. Not Cody Freeman. So I'm all in favor of Cody Freeman continuing to get more ABs. I really am. Home for 6 games is going to be great. Tristan, I'm with you on that. Home for 6 games is going to be outstanding. Tristan, I'm with you. Win or loss, love my boys. But football season, I am looking forward to it. Look, the Rangers, as much as I love them, they are not the most fun of watch right now. not the most fun of watches. There's some other things that I think might be a little more entertaining. Ohio State, Texas does sound a little bit better than Cleveland, Texas this weekend. I know we still got about a week and a half until football really cooks up, really heats up, but I would love for the Rangers to change that narrative, by the way. And we'll still be here. We're not bailing on the Rangers. We will be here every single game, as many as we're able to do, and that is a large majority. I don't know how many lives we've missed, but it hasn't been many this year. It's probably been able to count maybe on one hand how many lives we've missed. I might be missing a couple in the upcoming weeks just with work, but we're going to be here for most lives, most post games, regardless. I hope that the Rangers give us something to be excited about down the stretch, whether it's a playoff push, an unlikely, miraculous playoff push, whether it's some young guys getting some opportunities, looking real, real good for next year. I'm ready to enjoy the last month and a half of the year. I know some people want to turn it off. Obviously, this is how, at least one of the ways we make our living. We're not going to be shutting off Rangers baseball. And to be completely honest with you, you'll have to take my word for it. You got nothing else to go by. But I'd probably be watching anyways. I love the Rangers. I'm a diehard fan. I really am not the type to turn it off in August, even if it's not going my way. I'm more of the type, bitter end, even if it's bad. And that's exactly what we're going to do going forward in 2025 here. We keep things rolling. Thoughts on Jock in the middle of the lineup, Ed? Not a fan. I think that they got it right moving Wyatt Langford to leadoff. By the way, if you haven't checked out my Wyatt Langford video that I put out on TikTok and on all socials, please go check it out after the show. That's a huge way you can support me and the channel. I know we've got a couple of different ways as well that we mentioned throughout the show. All my longtime listeners, you know what I'm talking about. But a big way you can help, cost zero money at all. Go and like and comment on my most recent video. We're putting out almost a short a day, almost one TikTok, one video per day. And I would greatly appreciate it if you go check that out after you get off the live today. It would mean a lot. Help gets our reach, our engagement numbers up, and brings more people to the channel. So thank you. But Wyatt Langford getting moved to the leadoff spot, huge. Absolutely huge. I like the move a lot. I didn't anticipate really anything different. I think Wyatt needs to be up at the top of the order, whether he's hitting first or second. Actually, someone on TikTok, I don't want to take credit for this, and this isn't like a novel concept or anything, but the comment was basically Carter against righties leadoff, Wyatt Langford against lefties leading off. I think that makes a lot of sense, actually. I'm a fan of it. So I liked seeing Wyatt Langford there today against a righty in the leadoff spot. Josh Smith, we love Josh Smith. He's great. He's versatile. He can do a little bit of everything. He is, I think, at this point, a bit of a second-half fader. I don't mean that to be disrespectful, but the numbers are what they are for Josh Smith. He historically has not had good second half, so I think it is wise to try and move him around a little bit in the order. Wyatt did not have a great game today, 0 for 4, did get on base and scored a run, so good for him. But I think you need that speed up at the top of the order. Now, Ed, going back to your question with Jock Peterson, let me bring it full circle here. I think that eventually they're going to have to make a similar decision with Jock. Now, Jock did have a hit today, struck out a couple of times as well. But I do think Jock Peterson, if he cannot catch a heater, there's no reason he needs to continue to hit fourth in the lineup. Now, 2-out RBI for him today. Have to give him some flowers for that, give him some respect for that. But I think that Jock's days hitting in the fourth spot and maybe even hitting in the lineup, if the Rangers are knocked out of the playoff race, I think they're a little bit numbered at this point. Like, do you really want to give Jock Peterson every single AB in the month of September if you're not in a playoff spot? No. I think you want to give opportunities to other guys. You know what you got with Jock Peterson. Maybe you just hit the reset button. You shut him down a little early. You get him some ABs here and there, but it doesn't make a lot of sense if you're out of the playoffs, which the Rangers are not quite yet, but it's knocking on the door. If you are completely knocked out, there's no reason to continue to play some of the veteran guys. Jonah Heim doesn't need to play anymore. You could probably call up somebody else. You could bench Peterson, play him sparingly. there's a lot of guys that you could bench once you get knocked out and bring up some of the young guys to play in their place, or at least allow some of the bench guys to play in their place. We keep going. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. I'm trying not to. Do you force him to get in better shape for next season? Justin, look, it's a novel concept, but I don't think that they are going to do anything like that. Now, maybe Jock decides it for himself. I think, honestly, the Rangers are going to be happy if Jock is just hitting the baseball and finding green grass. I don't think that they are going to dig too deep and suggest that he get into some kind of training regimen. I mean, Jock has been what he's been. Now, would it help him? I think it probably would a little bit, but I don't know. There are plenty of big dudes in the MLB that hit just fine, and they are not peak specimens of the human race. Like, I think that it's probably a little bit lower on the priority list. That would kind of have to be, Justin, I think, something that comes from Jock wanting to get in shape. Do I think they do the same with DeGrom, Zach? Yes, I do. I do think that DeGrom would probably get shut down. We're talking, it's early September, and the Rangers are, maybe 8 or 9 games out. Maybe they're going to try and cling on to it until the bitter end, until they hit that elimination number. Maybe not, but yes, I do think if the Rangers at any point are just straight up out of it, I think that they probably will shut down guys like DeGrom, guys like Peterson, maybe a Marcus Semien type. With all of the different injuries he's kind of had going on over the past several weeks. He's got the foot, the wrist. Evan Carter, by the way, wrist injury. Contusion is what they're calling it right now. You hope that that's not going to set him back. You hope he's not going to be out for too long. But look, on the flight tonight, when he gets back home to Arlington this evening, you wonder how big that thing is going to swell up. I sure hope it doesn't. I sure hope that's not the case, but it's kind of what I'm wondering at this point. We keep rolling. Appreciate everybody that's liked the live so far. Give it a couple of taps every now and then if you wouldn't mind. I know that these things maybe don't seem too crazy or don't seem like a big deal, but it helps push our live out to other people, other Rangers fans. So if you're ever just sitting around, give it a couple taps every once in a while. Hit that follow button, man. If you haven't hit that follow button yet, would love for you to hang out with us each and every night. We do a little bit of everything here right on Rangers. We cover a lot of Texas sports, mainly the teams we love from the great state of Texas. We'll talk a little bit of everything, but Rangers first and foremost. We also cover Longhorns, Cowboys, and the Dallas Mavericks as well. Kind of those main four. We'll talk, like I said, a little bit of everything. Some people were asking me about TCU and SMU. No, they're never going to be the focal point. I'm never going to do a show around those teams, but you know what? If SMU or TCU has a big game and y'all want to talk about it, I watch enough college football. I'll probably be able to hang with you for at least a couple of minutes before we turn things back to a Longhorns angle or to a Cowboys angle, whatever the show is for that given day. So anyways, thanks for considering. Thanks for supporting the show. It means a lot. Let's keep rolling. Appreciate you guys. Jock getting paid more this year than he has RBI. Ouch. Ouch. But look, Jock Peterson right now on the season, the numbers, he's got 11 RBI. He's getting paid $18.5 million. Over or under Jock Peterson eclipsing 18.5 RBI? And look, obviously we're throwing a hook in there just like they do in Vegas where I live. Is Jock going to get to 19 RBI this year? I'd like to think, yeah, in the last, 40 days of the season, you can get to 18, 19 RBI. Maybe it's going to be closer than we think. I don't know. Cody Freeman did have a bad strikeout today, did ground into a double play. Look, I got to say this to frame the Cody Freeman situation, if you will. First of all, the guy hasn't had that many major league at-bats. You got to give him a little bit of slack. Second, he's crushed it in AAA. I don't think you really need to see a lot more of Cody Freeman in AAA. I think at this point, what you're ready for with Cody Freeman is a bit of an extended runway. You'd love to give Cody Freeman a month of major league at-bats and see where he's at, especially in a year like this where you potentially might not make the playoffs. Give Cody Freeman a month. You want to see what you have with him. You don't want to do the 1 or 2 week evals and then make your judgment based off that. Give him a month and see what he's able to do when he gets into a rhythm. I really don't think, the current situation, Cody Freeman playing a few games, benched one. Give Cody Freeman everyday ABs for a month and see where he's at. That's what I would like to see with Cody. No, he hasn't looked overly impressive, but what I do like is he puts the ball in play and he doesn't strike out a ton. Gio, to your point, yes, he had a bad strikeout today. It has not been much that he struck out. And comparatively with all of the other Rangers players in the order and on the bench that strike out way worse and way more frequently, I'm okay with Cody Freeman. Can Duran play third base? Yes. I do think Duran would probably be one of those guys that would get a chance to play quite a bit. And that only makes sense. Like, at this point, you want Zeke Duran playing and playing well because you can use him as potential trade bait in 2026 or in the offseason. So it makes a lot of sense for Duran to continue to play. And if he can end the season on a good note, that only pumps up the trade value. Maybe you keep him again. They seem to really love this guy. They have not traded or entertained trading him, I should say, really a whole lot. It doesn't feel like over the course of the past 2 or 3 years. But I think Zeke Duran will be getting quite a bit of playing time if the Rangers are able, or if the Rangers, I should say, are able to turn the page and kind of accept fate here. It's getting close. I don't think they're there yet, but if they do turn the page on this season, wave the white flag, Zeke Duran probably should be playing every day, just from the perspective of bumping up his trade value and having the option of going all in on maybe a big player that's not necessarily a free agent, but might be on the trade block. We keep rolling. Do I think the Rangers are going to have a great offseason? Do I think that they'll pursue big bats? I think that they will definitely be in the market for kind of a no-brainer offensive option. Will they be able to cash in on it? I don't know. The Rangers have made ventures going after certain free agents and going after certain guys in the trade market, and sometimes will get outbid. So I do think that they'll be in on some guys. Will they win the bidding wars? Will they make the best offer? That, to me, is up for debate. We'll see what happens there. But I do think that the Rangers are going to be in on some offense. Any of the Phillies guys, Real Muto, Schwarber, I'd be very, very happy with. Obviously, Kyle Tucker is another guy that a lot of Rangers fans are probably going to gravitate towards. Alex Bregman may have an opt-out. I know these are guys that are former Astros, but you know what? If we had them on the team, I think that eventually we would come to become okay with it if they are producing, especially even more so. Thank you for all the comments today. We're trying to roll through as much as we can. Hey, Terry, appreciate the follow, man. Thank you so much. Why couldn't they bring in JD Martinez? JD must not have looked good. That's the only thing I can really think of. JD must not have looked very good. Because with how desperate the Rangers were for hitting, I feel like it had to have been pretty bad or ugly for the Rangers not to have taken that bait. Speaking of, moves, JD Martinez, I think, was on a minor league deal for a time. Craig Kimbrell granted a release. Kimbrell is no longer with the organization, and literally within an hour of the Rangers announcing his release, none other than the Houston Astros signed Craig Kimbrell to a deal. So Craig Kimbrell, now a Houston Astro. Literally within like a 2-hour span. Look, Kimbrell, I don't think was killing it at the AAA level. I tried my best to follow along with him as much as I possibly could. Craig was not killing it at Round Rock. He had some saves. He was giving up some home runs. The velocity was in the low 90s. Look, we've got a lot of low 90s soft throwers. We need velo. We need the juice in the 9th inning, man. We need guys that can pump it upper 90s, maybe potentially flirt with the triple digits. Craig Kimbrell was not that. And so I'm not super upset by the move. Peeves me a little bit that he goes to the Astros, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Craig Kimbrell, obviously a legend, but at this point, he is trying to get that one final push with the big league squad as he nears the 18th hole of his career. We shall see if he's able to etch out a legitimate role with the Houston Astros. Do I think Spores is officially cooked? No. I do have my doubts how reliable he is going to be. And when I say that, I mean how much the Rangers are actually going to be able to count on him. So if you look right now at Josh Spores, you look at the numbers and just his game log in the minor leagues. He was, by the way, sent back to Round Rock for an assignment. So I was not expecting that. I thought he'd probably be shut down for a considerable amount of time longer than what ended up happening. But Josh Spores, game log, let's check it, and I'll let y'all know what he's got going on. Here you go, game log, great. So last pitched on August 20th for Round Rock. So that was last night. He pitched last night. He went 1 inning, no hits, 2 walks, 1 strikeout, did not allow an earned run. Before that, he gave up on August 17th. So this is 4 days ago. August 17th, he went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 hits, 2 earned runs, a homer, and a walk. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull up the game and let y'all know like how fast he was throwing. I might be able to look that up. Actually, looks like I can. Let me check it out. Let's see what the velo was at for Josh Spores. Let's see if we can figure this out. So top of the 8th inning, Jose Ruiz pitched. Top of the 9th, Dane Acker. I guess we got to go up a little bit further. We'll get there eventually. Okay, here we go. 93.9 mile an hour fastball. Let's check out the strikeout. Looks like he was sitting right around 93. And this was on, again, the 17th. He was sitting at 93, okay? Now, let's see if he ramped it up at all the next day. So he pitched on the 17th. He also pitched yesterday. Let's see if the fastball was any more live on the 20th than it was on the 17th. So he topped out at 94 on the 17th in Round Rock. Let's see if we can figure out what the numbers were on the 20th. Josh Spores enters into the game. Come on now. Where are we at? Ryan Garcia, top of the 6th. Appreciate y'all hanging. All right, here we go. Josh Spores, fastball was at 91 in his very first fastball thrown on the 20th. Here's second AB. Fastball was at 92.4. Here is third AB. He walked somebody. Fastball was at 91.9, topped out at 92. Fastball in this AB topped out again at 91.9. Y'all, this isn't encouraging me. This is not encouraging me. And I don't mean to be negative, but Josh Spores topping out at 94 one night and 92 another night. I just don't think we really need to be counting on this guy long term. Maybe he's still ramping it up. And we are going to see him come back in September and really, really look sharp. But I'm a little bit worried. You're only topping out at 92. That's just not going to play. We've got plenty of soft throwers in that bullpen. We really do. We do not need to add another one. We need high octane, triple digits. We need that kind of stuff. Appreciate all y'all hanging out. We're going to close out today's game. We already went through a little bit of it. Jock Peterson is where we left off. Evan Carter is where we need to pick up. 1 for 2 on the day today. Did leave with a wrist. Yeah, he got subbed out by Osuna, I guess, late in the game. 1 for 2. Did score a run. Hit by a pitch as well. Hopefully Evan's okay. You'd love to see him back in the lineup tomorrow. You wonder if he'll get a day. It kind of probably depends on how much swelling is in that wrist. But Rowdy Tellez, 0 for 3 today. Did have an RBI. Struck out twice. Josh Young subbed in for him. Struck out as well. Josh still having a really, really tough time. Josh Smith, 1 for 4. Did have 2 RBI. Just a lot of ground balls today for Josh Smith. The contact, just not the quality that you love. I think this is a great spot for Josh, though. 7th, 8th, 9th. I think this is exactly where he needs to be hitting. We talked about Cody. 1 for 4 on the day was Cody Freeman. Did have a nice 2-strike single against Mike Lorenzen. Had an ugly strikeout, but this is a guy that hasn't struck out a ton. I'm encouraged by what I see from Cody Freeman so far. And Heim time, 1 for 4 on the day. 1 for 4 on the day. Still would like to see Jonah with a little bit of a better approach. Late in the game today, had 2 strikes, down 2 runs, and was swinging for the fences with 2 strikes. It's really a problem with a lot of Rangers hitters. And this is why I like Cody Freeman. When Cody Freeman gets strikes, you see a little choke up. You see him try and shorten up his swing a little bit and just get on base. And with some of these guys, we're not talking about the Corey Seagers of the world. We're talking about Jonah Heim. Refuse to shorten up the swing and have more of a 2-strike approach. It's like, bro, I get it. If you're Marcus Semien, if you're Corey Seager, if you're a vet in this league, I understand not choking up on the bat, not necessarily going with the straight up traditional 2-strike approach because you've earned it. With guys like Jonah Heim, you haven't earned it. Dude, shorten up a little bit. Have a 2-strike approach, please. Jonah today, 1 for 4, so at least he gets on base 1 time. Corey Seager, they were showing the metrics on his double. On a calm day, probably would have had a home run today, but his double bounces off the wall. And Siegs, by the way, 3 for 5 on the day. Looks like Corey is heating up a little bit. Let's go to the numbers for Corey. Over his last 7 games, bro is hitting .370 with an 1137 OPS. Corey Seager's looking good right now. Really looking good right now. .310 with a 900-plus OPS over his last 15 games. Corey Seager's in a bit of a groove. It's good to see. Good to see. 3 hits today. Did strike out 1 time, but good stuff from Corey. And then, other than that, y'all, these are the numbers we always bring up. 3 for 15 with runners in scoring position. You had plenty of opportunities today. 15 opportunities with runners in scoring position, and you're only able to manage 4 runs. Story of the season, am I right? You look at the left on base, 9 left on base. Corbin was not great today. ERA balloons up to 4.61. You have had a number of really good starts from Patrick Corbin this year, but down the stretch, looking like Corbs is maybe tiring a little bit, fading a little bit. 3 2/3, 7 hits, 2 walks, 9 base runners, and 3 2/3 innings pitched. That is not going to win you a lot of ball games. 4 earned runs. Did give up a home run as well to Pasquatch. Jacob Webb. Wasn't it Corbin, or am I thinking somebody else? Let me see here. What do we got? Lofton off Corbin. Pasquatch hit it off Webb. It was off Webb for Pasquatch. All right. Webb, by the way, 1 1/3 inning, gave up the bomb to Pasquatch. Curvello came in. I thought he got squeezed a little bit. His numbers aren't going to look great today. 3 strikeouts. I like that, but just got squeezed a little bit in that 7th inning. Robert Garcia did come on and get a clean inning. How about it? Walked 1 person, but Robert Garcia, RG, 1 inning, no earned runs. There you go, baby. Coulomb did get 2 outs as well. Walked 1, no strikeouts. Coulomb ERA down to 1.89 on the year. We got to preview tomorrow's game and the series with the Guardians a little bit here. I'll continue to check comments here and there. I don't think they've said what the Beltre statue is going to look like, but I can only imagine it's going to be him on 1 knee, right? You can't do anything else with Beltre besides him hitting a home run on 1 knee. Like, there's literally nothing else that makes sense. Beltre on 1 knee hitting a bomb. That's got to be what the statue is. Has to be. Let's keep going. Tomorrow's game. Let's get into it. Rangers playing the Guardians, who at the moment, right now, are, looks like 2 games ahead of the Rangers, 2.5 games ahead of the Rangers. So you could leapfrog the Guardians, who are 3 games back in the wild card, if you were to take the sweep in this series. And that is kind of what it feels like the Rangers are going to need to do if they really want to have a chance to get back in this thing. At least win 2 out of 3, but a sweep would be highly preferable. Highly preferable. So we know that Eovaldi is going tomorrow for the Rangers. They'll be wearing the City Connects. And Evo, look, his numbers of late obviously sparkling. We're going to look at how he has fared against this Guardians lineup, and then we will take a look at the Guardians probable starter as well. But let me pause real quick, say a special thank you to all of my paid subscribers on TikTok, paid members on YouTube. If you ever want to support the channel in an additional way, get access to our exclusive Ride on Rangers Discord, consider hitting that subscribe button if you're on TikTok right next to the chat. We'll get you into the Discord right after the show. Really one of the only things I've monetized on the channel. $2.99 a month, and it all goes to help support me and the content that I produce here at Ride on Rangers. Next best thing, go and like one of my most recent videos. Share it with somebody. Let's keep growing this great group of people we got talking ball, talking Rangers baseball. And if you're on YouTube, I will drop the link for you guys in the chat. Copy and paste that into a browser of your choice. Really, really appreciate the support, y'all. I don't take any of it for granted at any point. There's the link for you guys. Consider it. And if not, there's a lot of other ways you can support the channel. But we would absolutely love to have you in that Discord. Now, let's check out Evo against the Guardians. First of all, Hedges, Austin Hedges, does have a career home run against Nathan Eovaldi. Crazy enough. Hedgie, baby. He is 1 for 10 with a bomb against Nathan Eovaldi in his career. Good old Hedgie. Jones, right fielder, 2 for 3. Kwan, 1 for 7. So Evo has tamed Stephen Kwan a little bit in his career. 1 for 7 is Kwan against Nasty Nate. Naylor, 1 for 3. Jose Ramirez does have a home run, but is 158 in 19 at-bats. 568 OPS in 19 career plate appearances, 19 career ABs, against Nathan Eovaldi. So Jose Ramirez actually has been shut down a little bit by Nitro. Let's see, what else do we have? Santana, 222 average and 18 ABs. Everybody else, minuscule numbers. So Evo, by the way, let's look at his last 3 starts. So last time out, Evo dominated Toronto, 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts. Before that, against Arizona, Evo gave up a lot of home runs, gave up 5 earned runs and 5 innings pitched. And then the third start on the 5th of August against the Yankees, Evo went 8 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs. So one rocky start, kind of sandwiched in the middle between real good numbers. 2 gems, actually. So hopefully Evo continues the positive progress that he continues to make down the stretch this year, especially coming back after that injury. And we'll see if he can continue to make a case for himself in the Cy Young discussion. But now we go over to the other side of things. But we have got Slade Cecconi going for the Guardians. And he is right now sitting at a 4.50 ERA, 5-6 record on the year, 76 strikeouts and 90 innings pitched. Let's see how Cecconi has fared against Rangers hitters. Maybe there won't be a whole lot of numbers. There's a few, actually. Duran 0 for 2. Heim 0 for 2. Higgy 3 for 4 with the bomb. I'm thinking we're probably going to see Higgy tomorrow night. Josh Young does not have an AB. I think he's walked 1 time against Cecconi. Langford 1 for 1. Peterson 0 for 2. Seager 0 for 2. Marcus Semien 2 for 3. And Josh Smith 0 for 1. So there's not a whole lot of numbers to go off of here. Rangers versus Cecconi, probable starter tomorrow for the Guardians. Guardians, by the way, you look at the standings, they currently are in the midst of a 3-7 10-game stretch. So the Guardians do not come into this series on fire. They have been playing some better baseball in the second half, but they do not come into this series on fire. They've actually lost 2 in a row. Hopefully the Rangers can catch them at a good time, take 2 at least, but you would love to see the Rangers get a sweep here. What happened to Tyler Mahle? Francisco, appreciate that. I think that Tyler Mahle is maybe going to return in September at some point, but I don't know. I have not really put a lot of stock in Tyler Malley coming back and making a big difference for the Rangers. I hope to be wrong. It just doesn't feel like things are trending that way. Excuse me. We shall see. Luis Crivello has not given up a run when the Rangers have a lead. Good for him. I would love to see Crivello involved in some more late game situations. He feels like he's trending in that direction. Question here from YouTube. Natalie, appreciate all the comments. Should Luis Crivello be the closer eventually? I would say it's a possibility. He feels like an 8th or 9th inning guy. Just the eye test. Maybe they have other plans for him, but the eye test, it feels like yes. Jeff, season over? Not yet, but it's getting close. They have got to put together some streaks here. Absolutely have to. 100%. Otherwise, it is going to be season over and play all of the AAA guys as much as you possibly can. Royals did need the series to stay alive in the playoff race. Nathan, no worries, man. I appreciate you coming by. Thank you for supporting the show. It means a lot. Interesting. We shall see what happens here in the next, weekend. But I think by the end of August, you're kind of going to know where the Rangers stand. I know I keep pushing it back. It's the optimist in me just trying to hold out hope that the Rangers can still do something special. Jeff, I definitely think that's the mode that they're in, man. It's well said. Appreciate all the comments again, man. I think they are just trying to throw stuff against the wall. Langford in the leadoff spot. I mean, they've done it before. I think this was Langford's 5th game in the leadoff spot. So clearly Langford has done it, but it does feel like they are sort of, let's just try and figure out something, anything that can get us to get runs on the board consistently. What do I think about the Royals? I do think, and I say this about a lot of teams, so I don't want to blanket statement or blanket cover all these teams, but it does feel like the Royals are definitely some starting pitching away from winning it all. I don't think they have good enough starting pitching right now to win the whole thing. They've got some good arms, but we all know October baseball is a different animal. I just don't know if the Royals have good enough arms to get it done, to make a deep run. Could they win a wild card series? Absolutely, the Royals could. Could they win a divisional series? I think so. I just don't know. You get into that ALCS, you get into the World Series. I don't know if the Royals have enough starting pitching depth to get it done. And not even depth, but just guys that you can give the ball to in a big game. Game 1, Game 7, Game 5. Look, Noah Cameron has been great. Obviously, you love Seth Lugo. You got Bubic. You got Reagans on the IL. Are Bubic and Reagans coming back at all, Nathan? Like, if you had those two guys, I'd feel a little bit differently. But are those guys coming back at all? I mean, look, I like the offense that the Royals have. I love Garcia. I love Bobby Witt. I love Salvi. They've got some good offensive players. But I think that they are some good pitchers away yet from winning it all. If they had Reagans and Bubic, I might feel a little bit different. Yeah, I know that you can't quite equate the two, but look, to me, those feel like the two best pitchers, and right now they're on the IL. So I feel like if those guys were healthy, I might feel a little bit differently. I think that the Royals could win one series, maybe even win a divisional round. I feel like as they get deeper into the playoffs, it's going to be tough when you really lack that bona fide ace. We shall see. Scrappy team, though. Enjoy watching them play the game. Love Garcia, love Bobby Witt, love Salvi. So, fun team. I don't mind cheering for them when they're not playing the Rangers. I really don't. All right, let's keep rolling. Appreciate it. TLC, what's good? Yeah, I don't think KC is a World Series team. I don't. I think that they are a good squad, a scrappy squad. They've got some fun players. They could make a little bit of noise in October. Don't know if I'm saying World Series, though. I think that might be a bit of a stretch. Brody, you might be right. Again, I've said it all summer long. I don't need to be right on August 21st. I'm not going to look back and be proud of myself for calling it, for calling the season. Let's just see how it plays out, right? Let's see how it plays out, and we will go from there. 6-13 in August is very, very sad. I'm with you. I miss the team that won 9 or however many it was in a row. 9 of 10. I don't know how many it was in a row, but I know it was like 9 of 10. I missed that squad badly. I really do. Absolutely do. Hey, we previewed the Friday night game, Evo versus Saccone. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the Saturday and Sunday game. So the way that it is scheduled right now, I don't know if the Rangers have announced all of their starters, but it looks like lighter on Saturday, and on Sunday, it is trending for Merrill Kelly. So no DeGrom this series. Looks like it's going to be Evo and Kelly and lighter, those three guys, which very respectable. Merrill Kelly, having him in that Sunday game, that could be huge. He's been good. The Guardians, they're throwing Williams on Sunday. On Saturday, looks like they are throwing Allen. These guys all have ERAs in the 3, so not untouchable, but solid pitchers. And then tomorrow, Saccone, probably the worst arm that they are going to see, that the Rangers will see. By the way, if you're curious, Allen on Saturday is a lefty, and on Sunday, Williams is a righty. So we are going to see one lefty in the Saturday game. Looks like Sunday's game, 1:35 Texas time. Saturday's game is going to be a night game. Saturday's game will be a night game. Can we just win 2 out of 3? I think that feels pretty good right now. A sweep would be cloud 9, but I'd love to just take 2 out of 3 here. I don't think you have to sweep to have a shot. It all really does depend on what the teams are doing ahead of you. And right now, the Guardians being ahead of you, this is a big opportunity. Kind of feels like that Yankees series. You guys remember that from a couple weeks ago? The Rangers were like 2.5 games behind the Yankees going into that series. And they had a chance to sweep on that Wednesday and go ahead of the Yankees in the playoff race. They couldn't get it done. Kind of feels like that series just much more urgent right now. Much more urgent. We keep rolling. Thank you guys for all the comments. Did I miss anybody on Instagram? No, haven't missed any comments. Good stuff. 2 out of 3 just for pride at this point. Let's not roll over. I'm with you on that. Hey, 44, good to see you, man. Maggie, appreciate the gift. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Very generous of you. Good to have you here. Look, this is our group therapy. We always say it. This is our group therapy. I actually kind of we got a little bit of a smaller group today. When we go not right after the game, it always ends up that way. This kind of reminds me of like the original days of Right on Rangers. A little bit reminds me of that. Like maybe 8-9 people in the TikTok, whatever. I don't know how many we've got right now on the YouTube, but you know what? I've said it and I'll continue to say it, whether we've got 200 or 2. It's fun doing this with you guys. I love it. So thank you so much. We need the young guys to pick it back up. Josh Smith especially. Preach. Josh Smith is, I think, can't avoid the reputation of a second half fader. He just does fade in the second half. Unfortunately, it's happened multiple seasons in a row. I'm glad that they moved him out of the leadoff spot. I think he needs to be in that 7 hole. We will see what ends up happening. JR, man, what's good? Hey, you guys aren't in a much better place right now. I know you guys are winning tonight, but shoot. It's been a rough stretch for the Texas teams right now. You guys are in a much better position than we are, to be fair. But it's been a rough stretch for teams of fans of Texas baseball teams. Thank you to all y'all. Look, we're going to start wrapping things up here. By the way, just out of curiosity, I want to look up how some guys are doing down in Round Rock. Let's see what we can figure out. By the way, today, Round Rock playing St. Paul up in Minnesota. Harris is 256 with a 727 OPS. He's 0 for 1 tonight. Foscue, 260 with an 820 OPS. Abimelec Ortiz is hitting 3-hole, and he's 0 for 1 tonight, but he has got a 333 average and an 1176 OPS since joining Round Rock. And look at his game logs, Abimelec Ortiz. Maybe this is a guy that pushes Jake Berger a little bit next year. I don't see why you don't invite Abimelec Ortiz once again to spring training. Maybe Ortiz pushes Jake Berger a bit. You'd kind of love to see that, actually. But look, he went 0 for 4 on the 19th, 1 for 1 on the 17th, 1 for 4 on the 16th. Looks like his last home run was on the 7th, so he hasn't hit a home run in a couple of weeks. Man, that August 5th game was special, though, with 2 bombs in his very first game with the Round Rock Express. I think Ortiz may find himself in the major leagues. If Jake Berger doesn't pick it up, I don't know. If you're not able to go out and get a first baseman in free agency that you like or via trade, Abimelec Ortiz could be a sleeper to make the roster, especially if he continues to hit well. And so far, so good in AAA. All right. We are getting close to shutdown time, y'all. Let me go last second comments here before we close up shop. Bullpen got credited with another loss. Yeah, I know that they bailed out Patrick Corbin with the 3 runs scored. But look, Pat Corbin gave the team a chance to win. I blame the offense for not scoring any runs 6 through 9, man. No rumors on Adolis. I think he's gone, though, and Jonah Heim in the offseason. I don't think there's any way that they bring either of those guys back. Paul, I'm with you. I'd love to make a run. I'm keeping the tiniest of faiths. JR, my favorite gift right there. I love that gift. The cowboy hat, the stash. It's beautiful, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Always love having you in the live, man. It's been a while. Appreciate you stopping by. Seriously. Genuinely. I think Foskew's either trade bait or potentially going to get let go like they did with Sam Huff. You remember Sam Huff? He wasn't really a tradable guy. He ultimately just got released. I could see that happening with Foskew. Really could. TLC agreed. Wyatt had one big game in the series last night. Didn't have a terrible game today, but you would love to see Wyatt really lock in and have a good last 5 weeks of the season. Like that mic, man. Like that mic, JR. Love this gift. You're on fire. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for the generosity. All right, y'all. It's time to wrap things up. We've been going almost an hour. We're going to hope that tomorrow is much, much better than today was and this entire series was in KC. Ben, I don't think 6-0 is super realistic. It could happen. I think if we go something like, maybe 5-1, I think 4-2 is the bare minimum. 5-1 is probably where you need to be. 6-0 would be amazing. But I think 6-0 as your expectation, you're asking to be let down. I mean, I just don't see them going 6-0. Would love to see it. But give me 5-1, 4-2 at the worst. 4-2 at the worst. Hey, TLC, appreciate it. The City Connects, we'll be repping the City Connects tomorrow. Hopefully with Evo on the bump, we get back on track. Hope y'all have a great rest of your Thursday night. Thanks for hanging out, even when it's tough. Look, it's not as fun talking about L's as it is talking about dubs, but we're here, rain or shine. That's why they call us the diehards, man. You're here regardless. No fair weather fan in us. Rain or shine, baby. So we'll be here tomorrow night and hopefully talking about a Rangers win and a good start to their series with the Guardians. Nasty Nate on the bump. Beltre statue getting unveiled. Can't wait to see that. That's going to be awesome. And I think I might be doing a little Beltre vid for tomorrow's game in honor of that. So little nostalgic video coming out. Appreciate you checking it out. Probably sometime tomorrow during the day. That's the plan, y'all. JR, no. Silver boot, pride on the line, baby. We'll see what happens. It'll be fun. That series is coming up quick. When do I think we shut down the vets? Probably in September when the rosters expand, if we are still quite a ways out of it. That would be my guess. Appreciate you. Thank you to all y'all. All right. Have a good rest of your night. And as I always say to end every show, God bless and go Rangers.